India is gearing up to resist a massive earthquake. The country has came up with a new earthquake design code and a new risk classification system.
Canada Day they won't soon forget in central Alberta. A twister touched down north of Calgary, damaging some homes in the area.
Butterflies fall prey to a wide diversity of predators, so their ability to survive and reproduce is dependent on them remaining hidden in the environment.
The world beneath our feet and above our heads is full of mysteries that defy explanation. Every single day, somewhere on this planet, nature performs miracles that make scientists question everything they thought they knew. From ground that explodes without warning to creatures that disappear in plain sight, our Earth continues to surprise us in the most spectacular ways imaginable. Today, we're diving into 15 natural phenomena so bizarre and incredible that you'll struggle to believe they're real. But they are real, captured on camera, witnessed by thousands, and waiting to completely change how you see our planet. So let's jump right in and explore these mind-blowing mysteries. The village where the ground exploded. Mahakalapta village in Kendrapara district, India had always been a place shrouded in fear and superstition. For generations, locals whispered about hauntings and supernatural forces lurking beneath their homes. Strange sounds echoed through empty streets at night. Shadows moved where nothing stood. An overwhelming sense of dread hung in the air like thick fog. Children were warned never to wander alone after dark, and even skeptics couldn't deny the eerie atmosphere that seemed to seep up from the earth itself. Then June 2020 arrived and shattered everything. Without any warning, the ground began shaking violently. But this wasn't a normal earthquake. What happened next transformed the quiet village into a scene of absolute chaos. The earth opened up and boiling mud erupted with tremendous force, shooting 40 feet into the air like a geyser from hell. Scalding water mixed with the mud, creating a deadly fountain that continued for 1 full hour. The temperature was hot enough to cause serious burns on contact. Steam rose in massive clouds. Buildings were splattered with thick gray mud. Crops were buried. The sound was deafening. A combination of the eruption, people screaming, and animals in distress. Panic consumed everyone. People ran in every direction trying to escape. Mothers grabbed children and fled without looking back. The elderly were helped by neighbors who risked their own safety. Supernatural theories exploded overnight. This was proof of angry spirits, ancient curses, gods punishing them for forgotten sins. But educated residents refused to accept these explanations and launched an investigation that would reveal the shocking truth. Their inquiry led to one man, Shyamsundar Bol, a farmer with ambitious dreams.
The farmers say they've been cheated and are angry with the local officials.
When they took away our land, the authorities had promised us that we would get jobs, but these were all lies.
He'd hired a drilling crew to dig the deepest well in the region. They worked for weeks, boring through rock and soil, going deeper than any typical well. At 1,000 feet deep, deeper than the Eiffel Tower is tall, something changed. The drill bit broke through into a massive underground pocket of superheated mud trapped under enormous geological pressure for possibly thousands of years. The moment they created an opening, physics took over. The pressure differential was so extreme that the mud exploded upward with devastating violence. The truth wasn't supernatural at all. It was pure geological force, pressure building for millennia suddenly finding an escape route. The mud was hot because it came from deep within the earth where temperatures increase with depth. The force was tremendous because of massive pressure. The hour-long duration was how long it took for pressure to equalize. When this explanation spread through the community, reactions were mixed. Relief that no ghosts existed. Embarrassment at believing supernatural stories. Anger at Shyamsundar for creating this disaster, but also newfound respect for nature's hidden power and the importance of understanding what lies beneath before drilling. The groundless rumors finally vanished, replaced by concrete geological knowledge. The butterfly that becomes invisible. Walking through forests from India to Japan, you might pass dozens of Kallima inachus butterflies without ever knowing they exist. Why?
The Indian leaf butterfly. Its upperside has shining orange and blue colours, but its underside has a striking resemblance to a dead leaf. An extraordinary example among moths is the oriental prominent moth Europaea meticuloidina.
Because these creatures have mastered the ultimate survival trick, disappearing in plain sight through perfect camouflage. When this butterfly closes its wings, the transformation is instant and complete. What you see looks exactly like a dead, withered leaf lying on the ground. Not similar to a leaf, not leaf-like. Exactly, perfectly, indistinguishably identical to an actual dead leaf. The wing pattern replicates every minute detail with precision that defies belief. There's a long tail extension mimicking a leaf stem, complete with natural curves and thickness variations. The surface shows brown veins that branch and subdivide exactly like real leaf veins, following the same patterns found throughout nature. Multiple shades of brown, tan, and gray replicate the uneven decay process of fallen leaves. Some areas appear sun-bleached, while others show darker, moisture-affected patches. But the mimicry goes even deeper. The wings feature white dots and black marks that look exactly like mold, lichen, or fungi growing on decaying vegetation. Some individuals even display patterns mimicking holes or tears, as if insects had been nibbling on them. These aren't accidents. They're deliberate evolutionary adaptations adding layers of believability to an already perfect disguise. Scientists have tested this camouflage against natural predators like birds and lizards. The results are consistent and striking. Predators walk right past these butterflies constantly, even when actively hunting and hungry. The disguise works comprehensively, fooling creatures whose survival depends on finding insects. During daylight, the butterflies employ another tactic: absolute motionlessness. They land and simply don't move, trusting completely in their camouflage. Even when predators investigate nearby, they maintain their freeze with remarkable discipline. When they need to fly, they use short, erratic bursts, then immediately land and close their wings. The transition from colorful flying insect to dead leaf happens so fast that predators lose track entirely. Researchers have documented predators watching a butterfly land, then searching the exact area for minutes without finding it, even though it was there in plain view the entire time. This raises fascinating questions about evolution. How many millions of years did it take to develop this specificity? How many trillions of individual butterflies lived and died to produce this masterpiece of deception? The desert that turned white. The Sonoran Desert is one of Earth's 2 deadliest deserts. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 50 degrees Celsius, hot enough to cook eggs on rocks and cause third-degree burns on skin in minutes.
Now, parts of the Arizona desert are getting too hot for these cactuses. 110-degree temperatures lasting for weeks on end are causing the hardy saguaro to drop dead from what amounts to heat stroke.
Human survival without water is measured in hours, not days. This landscape seems designed specifically to kill anything unprepared for its harshness. So when snow fell on the Sonoran Desert, it wasn't just unusual, it was practically impossible, violating everything we understand about climate patterns. Yet it happened, witnessed by thousands who documented it with photographs and videos that sparked worldwide debate. The iconic saguaro cacti stood draped in white like surreal dreams. Sand dunes that had baked under relentless sun were suddenly blanketed in snow. The entire ecosystem, perfectly adapted to extreme heat, found itself thrust into conditions it never evolved to handle. The snowstorm wasn't light either. Up to 10 centimeters accumulated in some areas, completely transforming the desert's appearance. Residents stood in stunned silence, many weeping at the impossible beauty before them. People who'd lived their entire lives in the Sonoran Desert suddenly found themselves in a completely different world. Children who'd never seen snow built snowmen next to cacti. Photographers scrambled to capture images that might never be repeated in their lifetimes. Meteorologists worked frantically to explain how this could occur. The answer involved rare conditions aligning perfectly. An unusually strong cold front pushed down from the north, carrying Arctic air masses far south of normal range. This frigid air collided with moisture-laden Pacific air. The desert's topography forced this moist air upward rapidly. As it rose, it cooled faster than normal, reaching temperatures low enough for snow formation. Everything aligned perfectly: temperature, humidity, wind patterns, elevation, timing. Against astronomical odds, it all came together. But the harsh desert climate meant this transformation couldn't last. Within 4 hours, the snow had largely vanished, melted by warm ground and relentless sun. The transformation happened so quickly it felt like mass hallucination. Those who didn't witness it struggled to believe the evidence flooding social media. This beautiful event carries a darker message, though. Climate experts point to such extreme anomalies as evidence of rapidly destabilizing weather patterns. When snow falls in one of Earth's hottest places, when once-in-a-century events happen every few years, we're watching our climate system send distress signals in the most dramatic way possible. 5 tornadoes in 30 minutes. Edinburgh Village existed in that rare category of places where nothing dramatic ever happens. No major crimes, no disasters, no headlines. People moved there specifically to escape chaos, living entire lives without witnessing anything more exciting than occasional thunderstorms. The village's rhythm was reliable as a heartbeat: spring planting, summer growth, autumn harvest, winter rest. Year after year, the pattern repeated with comforting consistency. That June afternoon started with gentle weather that makes you grateful to be alive. Light drizzle fell, smelling like fresh earth and growing things. Amanda had lived in Edinburgh for 28 years. She was making tea when her phone buzzed with a weather alert marked severe, immediate, dangerous. Dust storms are developing rapidly. Conditions favorable for tornado formation. Take shelter immediately. This is not a drill. Her first instinct was disbelief. Tornadoes didn't happen in Edinburgh. The geography was wrong, the climate was wrong. Everything made tornadoes essentially impossible. Then she heard it, a sound like continuous thunder growing steadily louder. She looked toward the western horizon, and what she saw made her blood turn to ice. The dust storm had transformed into something far more sinister. A funnel cloud connected sky to ground in a writhing column of devastating power. Even miles away, she could see debris swirling, trees, building parts, unidentifiable objects spinning at deadly velocities. The tornado was heading straight toward Edinburgh. The sound intensified, no longer distant but immediate and overwhelming. It was a roar that seemed to come from the earth itself, as if the planet was screaming. The tornado touched down, and Amanda's entire house began shaking violently. Windows rattled dangerously. Pictures fell and shattered. Her teacup vibrated across the counter and crashed to the floor. She ran for her basement, mind racing with terror and disbelief. She made it down and pulled the door shut just as full fury arrived. The sound became utterly deafening. Impossible to describe, impossible to think through, a physical wall of noise overwhelming every sense. Then through the chaos she heard another sound, slightly different in pitch, coming from a different direction. Her phone buzzed with an updated alert confirming her worst fears. Multiple tornadoes confirmed. 5 separate funnels detected. Remain in shelter until all clear is given. 5 tornadoes, all at once, all within 30 minutes, all converging on Edinburgh where tornadoes didn't happen. The sound of 5 simultaneous tornadoes cannot be captured in words. It wasn't just loud, it was overwhelming, all-consuming, a physical force felt in chest, bones, and vibrating teeth. It was the sound of the world ending, multiplied by 5. Amanda huddled in her basement, hands pressed over ears, praying to gods she wasn't sure she believed in. Above her, Edinburgh was being systematically torn apart. Century-old trees were ripped from the ground like weeds. Buildings were disassembled piece by piece. Power lines snapped and fell, sparking with deadly electricity.
It almost looks like airplanes crashed here, but what it is the total destruction of 2 homes that just have been shredded and spread everywhere.
Time lost meaning. Each second stretched into eternity. She had no way of knowing if she'd survive the next minute. Then, as suddenly as it began, silence fell. Not gradual, but instant. Complete silence, almost as shocking as the noise. When the official all clear came, she climbed the basement stairs and opened the door to incomprehensible devastation. Her living room looked bombed, all windows shattered, part of her roof simply gone. Furniture overturned, broken, scattered, everything covered in mud, debris, and glass. But her house still stood. She was alive. Outside was a village she barely recognized. Trees lay across roads, root systems torn out, leaving massive holes. Power lines draped everywhere. Debris covered every surface. Neighbors emerged pale with shock, moving like zombies through wreckage. Miraculously, nobody died. A few minor injuries, some shock requiring counseling. One farm was particularly hard hit. But in terms of human life, Edberg got impossibly lucky. The psychological impact, however, was devastating and permanent. The illusion of safety, the belief that some places are protected from nature's fury, shattered along with the windows and roofs. Edberg was no longer a sanctuary. It was just another vulnerable dot on a map. Many families left, unable to sleep through storms anymore. Those who stayed changed fundamentally, watching skies obsessively, checking weather apps compulsively. The peace that defined Edberg for generations was gone, replaced by hypervigilance and underlying anxiety. The hair-standing desert warning. The Kumtag Desert in Xinjiang, China stretches across thousands of square kilometers of inhospitable terrain. Sand dunes rise hundreds of feet high, sculpted by relentless winds. Temperatures swing wildly between blistering days and frigid nights. A group of adventure tourists had planned their expedition carefully, preparing for standard dangers like heat stroke, dehydration, and sandstorms. What they didn't prepare for was what the desert had planned for them. The day started perfectly. Light rain had fallen overnight, rare and precious in this environment, leaving the air fresh and sand easier to walk on. The group was in high spirits, joking and laughing as they trekked deeper into dune fields. Then someone noticed something strange. Their hair was standing up, pulling away from the scalp as if trying to escape. Suddenly everyone was checking. Every person had hair standing straight up, defying gravity, reaching toward the sky. At first there was laughter. People pulled out phones, taking selfies of ridiculous hairstyles. But as they climbed higher toward the tallest dune, the effect intensified dramatically. It wasn't just head hair anymore. Fine hairs on arms stood straight up. Hair on legs did the same. Even tiny invisible hairs on necks bristled in unison. Then sounds started, faint crackling like distant static, growing steadily louder. Some reported tingling sensations across entire bodies, deeply unsettling, as if electricity danced across their skin. The laughter stopped abruptly. One experienced guide suddenly understood what was happening. His face went pale. "Get down," he said quietly. Then louder with real fear, "Get down from this dune right now." The group didn't need to be told twice. His tone communicated everything. This was life or death. They scrambled down the slope, slipping and sliding in loose sand, desperate to reach lower ground. As they descended, crackling sounds intensified. The air itself seemed to vibrate with electrical potential. Every hair remained rigidly upright, as if the sky was pulling at them with invisible hands. They ran faster, genuine terror replacing earlier amusement. They made it to the base and kept moving, putting distance between themselves and the peak. 5 minutes. That's how long they'd been in the danger zone. Less than 20 minutes after they cleared the area, the desert erupted with lightning. Multiple strikes hit the exact dune they'd abandoned, each bolt carrying millions of volts that would have turned any human into a charred corpse. The lightning was so intense that even from a safe distance, tourists felt the electrical discharge through the air. The thunder was deafening, rolling across the desert like artillery fire. Later, once hearts stopped racing, the guide explained what happened. The light rain had created perfect conditions for massive electrical charge buildup in the atmosphere. The tourists had become electrical conductors, their bodies positively charged, strongly attracted to negative charge building in clouds above. The standing hair wasn't a quirky phenomenon to photograph. It was nature's final warning system, the last signal before disaster. It meant the electrical potential difference between their bodies and atmosphere had reached critical levels. They were human lightning rods, and a strike wasn't just possible, it was imminent and inevitable. If they'd remained on that exposed peak even 2 more minutes, if they'd touched each other while standing there, if they'd raised arms or held up phones, the outcome would have been catastrophic. Lightning would have used their bodies as the path of least resistance, sending millions of volts through flesh, blood, and bone, instantly stopping hearts and boiling bodily fluids. This incident went viral as a cautionary tale, with comments filling with similar stories from around the world. The tourists learned a lesson they'll carry forever. Nature always warns you before it kills you. The question is whether you're paying attention and whether you act fast enough when warnings come. The fish-filled desert river. In November 2022, a video went viral showing a river, a substantial flowing river, cutting through arid desert landscape. But that wasn't the impossible part. The impossible part was that this river was absolutely teeming with thousands upon thousands of fish, all swimming and thriving in the middle of a bone-dry desert. The video sparked intense debate. Skeptics claimed it was fake or filmed elsewhere. Believers offered wild explanations, including divine intervention. The truth was simultaneously more mundane and more fascinating than fiction. Practical theorists pieced together the likely explanation. A lake had formed in this desert area, probably due to exceptional rainfall or underground water breaking through to the surface. Desert soil, baked hard by extreme heat, becomes almost concrete-like, causing water to pool on the surface rather than seeping into earth. This temporary lake existed long enough for an ecosystem to establish itself. But how did fish get there? The answer lies in remarkable survival strategies. Many desert-adapted fish species produce eggs that can survive complete desiccation, total drying out. These eggs remain dormant in dried mud for years, even decades, waiting for water to return. When rain finally comes, eggs hatch within hours, and fish populations explode. Additionally, birds often transport fish eggs on feet and feathers, inadvertently seeding isolated water bodies across vast distances. A single bird stopping at a distant pond, then flying to this desert lake, could introduce entire species. The riverbanks were unstable, loose sandy soil without root structures that typically hold earth in place. When water levels rose, banks eventually gave way catastrophically, releasing the lake's contents in a sudden flood. The result was a temporary river carving through desert, carrying with it the entire fish population that had been breeding in the now vanished lake. As for the thousands of fish, they'd engaged in uncontrolled breeding. In isolated water bodies with abundant food and no predators, fish populations can explode exponentially. A few dozen fish can become thousands within a single breeding season. This phenomenon reminds us that life finds a way even in the most improbable places. Desert ecosystems operate on boom and bust cycles that seem catastrophic but are actually essential to survival. The Lord of the Chickens. In rural Guizhou, southern China, one farmer has achieved something extraordinary, earning him the nickname Lord of the Chickens. Picture hundreds of chickens scattered across a hillside, pecking at ground, scratching in dirt, wandering freely through vegetation. They're everywhere and nowhere, dispersed across an area so large that rounding them up seems impossible. Then the farmer produces a simple whistle. With a single sharp note cutting through mountain air, magic happens. From every direction, behind trees, over hills, through bushes, out of forest, chickens come running. Not walking, running. Wave after wave of feathered bodies converging on a single point, jostling each other, wings flapping in excitement, creating a comedic cacophony of clucks and squawks. Within moments, hundreds of chickens have assembled before their master, waiting expectantly for their meal. The farmer doesn't need to herd them, chase them, or call individual birds. One whistle, and the entire flock mobilizes with military precision. This isn't accidental. It's the result of meticulous patient training based on classical conditioning, the same principle Ivan Pavlov demonstrated with dogs. From the time these chickens were chicks, the farmer established an unbreakable association: whistle equals food. Every single feeding time, without exception, began with that specific whistle sound. Over weeks and months, the association became hardwired into their brains. The whistle didn't just signal food, it triggered an irresistible response, activating reward centers, releasing anticipatory dopamine, compelling them to move toward the source with single-minded determination. What makes this impressive is that chickens aren't generally considered intelligent animals. Yet this demonstrates that intelligence comes in many forms. These chickens learn to respond to an abstract sound, remember that association across days and weeks, and execute complex navigational tasks to reach the reward source from wherever they happen to be. The farmer's technique offers practical benefits beyond entertainment. Free-range chickens produce higher quality eggs and meat, but managing them is typically labor-intensive. By using conditioned responses, this farmer has reduced workload dramatically while maintaining free-range benefits. His chickens get exercise, natural diet supplementation from insects and plants, and lower stress levels, all while remaining easily manageable. From exploding mud in Indian villages to butterflies that vanish before your eyes, from impossible snow in deadly deserts to tornadoes that shouldn't exist, nature continues proving that reality is stranger than any fiction we could invent. These 15 phenomena are just a tiny glimpse into Earth's extraordinary catalog of mysteries. Every day, somewhere on this planet, something impossible is happening. Which phenomenon shocked you most? Have you witnessed something in nature that seemed impossible? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're hungry for more incredible discoveries, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss new content. Thank you for joining this journey through the unbelievable, and remember, our universe is under no obligation to make sense to us, but that's precisely what makes it worth exploring. See you in the next video.